is Sammy Hegab. I'm a financial software engineer, and I've decided to put together a course in teaching Calypso. So this is my very first introduction to Calypso. Calypso, for those that are not very familiar with it, it's a leading Java-based treasury management system. Now, don't worry if you don't know what treasury management system is, or you've never came across Calypso before. The whole idea is I'm taking the students or the viewers of this course from absolute beginners, from people that might have very basic knowledge even in Java, and I will take them in the basics, just take them from the very start in Java development as well as in Calypso development, and give them a full introduction to the whole system, or as much as I can anyway. So don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and leave a comment below for any advice, recommendations, feedback, just absolutely anything at all, so I can continue developing good quality material. So first of all, who am I? I'm a software engineer. I've developed a number of different languages, C, C++, C#, Java, all the JavaScript frameworks, React, I've done Angular, done Perl way back, PHP, and much, much more. I've got involved in web development, initially with PHP and HTML, and all the familiar sort of web development stack. And then I moved into the energy sector in C# and C++. And then I decided, well, my passion is really in the financial markets, so I decided to pursue a career in the financial industry as a financial software engineer. Got about, let's say, about 5 years experience in Calypso, from V11 all the way up to 15.5. At the time of the recording, there's Calypso 16. I haven't got any experience in that yet. However, I'm planning to maybe take on a project and start familiarizing myself with V16. I've got about 1 year experience in other treasury management systems like Summit, which is developed in C++ and C#. So the back end is all C++, front end is C#. And I've also dabbled about a bit with Murex as well. So these are the competing treasury management systems, TMSs, in the market. There's others as well, but the main ones are Calypso, Summit, and Murex. And the leading one at the moment, as far as I'm aware, is Calypso. And it's expanding rapidly. It's used in a lot of financial institutions now, globally. So it's a good skill to have, or at least have some knowledge of the system. So even if you are going to be supporting Calypso in the future, or you are working with people in the financial industry, and then they start talking about Calypso and treasury management systems, at least you've got some idea of it. If not, if you don't want to sort of get into the development side of things. Academically, I've done an MA in economics, MSc in software engineering, advanced computer science, and also studied data science as well. I'm hoping one day I can start doing my PhD in the field, either in something related to blockchain, some financial applications, as well as high performance computing, something in that area. I haven't decided yet, but it's definitely going to be something related to the financial sector, and it will have some crypto aspect to it, or angle to it. My passion, if you haven't already guessed, is financial industry. I'm also passionate about education, sharing knowledge, so that's why I'll be creating videos to share my little experience and also any knowledge that I have And I'm also interested in building a trading platform in the near future. And I'm an active investor in the stock market, predominantly in the natural resources space. So I invest quite heavily in small caps exploration companies, mining companies, and that's another passion of mine, amongst other things as well. But just too many to list here. So I'm just going to stick to the course for now. So at least you get an idea of who I am, and then we'll move from there. So here is this training videos for software engineers, existing software engineers, possibly new computer science graduates, junior Calypso developers. Maybe you've just been exposed into Calypso for the very first time and you're going through that very steep learning curve I've been through myself, and or you're currently a technical analyst and you're a bit more senior. Perhaps you can correct me if I say something wrong, or you can supplement my knowledge and so on, as well as also business analysts, so they can get an idea of the application as well as the development side of things as well. So at least they can communicate a bit better with developers, and at least you've got an idea of what developers get up to, Calypso API and so on. Also, anyone interested in the financial sector in general and fintech technology, like I said, at least you got an idea of what a treasury management system is and what sort of technologies, technology stack that they use in the financial sector, and then you can also develop your own applications, or at least you get a general idea. So absolutely anyone can, these videos could be very useful for absolutely anyone. So yeah. What's my motivation for sharing knowledge? Well, to be completely honest with you, I've been through a very steep learning curve in Calypso. I was kind of thrown in the deep end about early 2014. I think it was January 2014. I came across Calypso for the very first time. I didn't know what it was. I didn't get any information to it. I didn't get any support. I didn't get any introduction into the system. All I knew, it's a Java application of some sort, and now I have to work with it. I have to write all these tests and integrate it with other systems. So I really didn't know what it was about, whether it's a database system, whether it's enterprise resource planning like SAPs and PeopleSoft, or what exactly was it. It was kind of like very basic Java GUI. So yeah, I've been through a bit of a pain to learn the application. There is no knowledge online. It's not something that you could just go on GitHub and download some source code and learn it or anything like that. So I had to learn around Calypso, okay, Calypso is developed in Java, therefore the best way to become a better Calypso developer is to learn more Java. It had Spring Framework, so now I had to learn a bit about Spring Framework, and at the same time, I didn't know what Spring Framework was, or dependency injections and all that stuff. So I had to go through all that learning in order to understand Calypso a bit better, as well as learn the business side of things as well. Understand exactly what goes on in the back office, the front office, and middle office, and how all that works together. So therefore, my motivation of sharing this knowledge is to maybe alleviate some of that pain. At least you get some sort of introduction into the system. The other way is obviously if you manage to land the job in Calypso, perhaps they will give you the training and introduction into the system, and then you can hit the ground running basically in a few months. But for those that haven't got that privilege of working directly for Calypso, I hope this video introduction would give you a better understanding and help you in that learning process. Also, sharing is caring. I know it's kind of like a cliche, but you gotta sort of give back once you've kind of built up something, or you've made money or anything like that, you have to teach others how to do the same, follow your footsteps, or at least do better. If it took you maybe 10 years to become a millionaire, you can probably share that knowledge so people can avoid some of the expensive lessons that you've gone through. And then that way they could probably do it in 5 years instead of 10 years and so on. So, it's really sharing that knowledge, passing it forward, or paying it forward, if you want to put it that way. Calypso, I can't teach you everything in Calypso because I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know everything. I've only got about 5 years experience in the application. It's a big ocean. I can only share what I know, and then perhaps from those that watch the videos, they've got a little bit more experience in a particular area or a particular aspect, or they want to clarify some of that information. Perhaps they can also contact me and share some of their knowledge, and then that way I can publish the videos as well and give them credit for it. And also there is a selfish reason, to be completely, full disclosure here and completely honest with you. The selfish reason is, the best way to learn is to teach. When you try to put a course together and you start gathering, the fragments of knowledge that you might have gained through years of experience, and you put it together, it kind of like refreshes your memory, keeps that knowledge in the back of your mind and ready to use, and it keeps you ready for the next contract projects as well. And you kind of like start to identify maybe some of the knowledge that you're lacking and that kind of stuff. But you can only do that when you try to put a course together and you try to share the knowledge with someone else. And then that way you can improve your learning as well and learn more about the application yourself. So with all that talk, what's all that hype about? Why learn Calypso? Like I said in the beginning, the first slide, I sent a Java-based treasury management system. So it's based on Java. It's multi-tiered Java financial application. The source code isn't available. It's not like open source code out there, and you can just look at the code and that kind of stuff. So it's very much closed source code, and you can only interact or extend the application through their API. And you also need a license for the application as well. So not anyone could just download the software and play with it and so on. So you've got to be working for someone that is a license holder. And for full disclosure, I don't have a license, so there's no way I can actually show you anything. Really, I can only share the theory parts and maybe share the technology and that kind of stuff that's available, like for example Java and Spring Framework and stuff. If you learn those things, then it will make it a lot easier to get along with the Calypso API once you start working with it. It's a very small community of developers and business analysts, so there's only a few people. The only way you could know Calypso is if you've worked for Calypso in the company, or you've worked with someone that has got a license. So you've been exposed to the application, you've got access to it, and you've learned through in that way, trial and error, and just teaching yourself basically on the job. It's not something that they teach in university. You can't be ready by getting even a master degree in advanced computer science or anything like that. You're not going to be an expert in Calypso. It's a completely different ball game altogether, and you need access to that API and documentation so you can actually learn or teach yourself on the job. Also, Calypso developers and business analysts are amongst the highest paid engineers and consultants. The takeaway home is something like, for a very junior Calypso developer, you're talking about £500 a day, to a more senior, maybe £2,000 a day or more. I know, well, at least a couple of people that have earned an excess of £2,000 a day. And also it depends on the jurisdiction. If you're working in a very high very risky area, like maybe if you go somewhere in Africa or somewhere where there's high risk or that kind of stuff, then you can charge a lot more for that risk. So yeah, so you decide. You can start £500 if you work maybe let's say 200 days in a year. You're talking about £100,000 plus, and if you've got about 10 years plus experience and or more, then you could start earning a lot more. You can quadruple your daily rate very quickly. Now, having said that, I don't want to motivate you by the financial incentive. I mean, I know people work to make money, but that's not the end goal. It's what you do with the money. At the end of the day, you don't want to live your life just accumulating money. So you have to have a passion for this. You have to have a passion for software development. You have to have a passion for the financial sector, something that you have to love, and then you'll make money. So it's important that you follow your passion, not follow the money, not just try to, I just want to make money, that's why I want to learn Calypso, because you'll never become a good Calypso developer, or you'll never even become a software engineer in the first place, a good software engineer, if you're just doing it for the money. You've got to do it because you love it. You love learning about technology. You've got to do it because you love learning about the financial sector and understanding the system and so on. And the money will follow. You will make a good, decent income from this as a contractor or consultant. So we talked a bit about the incentives of why learning Calypso. What exactly is Calypso here? I've said Calypso before, it's Treasury Management System, TMS for short now. It integrates with trading platforms, risk management, and also operation functionality. We'll go into the detail of this in the next video, where we'll give you an introduction to Calypso, proper introduction. But here I'm just highlighting some of the points. Calypso handles multi-asset classes, interest rate derivatives, commodities, FX, you name it, exotic as well, financial assets. We can go on, the list can just go on and on. And it also integrates with existing systems, and it's also very flexible to accommodate new ones. I mean, we're talking about systems like Bloomberg, Reuters, Market with IT, and many others. Maybe PeopleSoft, SAPs, ERP systems. So it kind of integrates with any other system. And I'll talk to you about how you can also extend using other languages as well. So if you want to integrate with, create applications in maybe like C++ or Kotlin or anything else, you can develop applications and extend the Calypso ecosystems using other languages as well. It's not just platforms and systems. You can pretty much integrate with anything. So it's scalable, reliable, and it's open architecture. In a sense, you've got an API and you can communicate with that. Multi-tier, 100% Java-based platform. So if you start learning the core Java and start learning some of the frameworks that's used in Calypso, like Spring, you will then be able to pick up and develop. It's a full front to back end platform, which means it's not just a front end or middle office or back office system, it's a full front to back. Another product that Calypso had was called Bank in a Box. So pretty much you can run the whole bank with this application. Again, I said it's closed source, so the only way to extend or write custom code is through the Calypso API, which is, it can be easy to learn, but once you get some background into Calypso and you understand the architecture and everything else, then the rest can be easy. But there is a very steep learning curve in the beginning, which you have to go through, and then after that you can you can then build on that, and then it will become, oh, this is very easy. It's common sense, it's just setters and getters, and passing the correct parameters and all that stuff. So it can be easy, but that will come later on. But there is a steep learning curve which we'll have to go through first before we go into the API. Now, there is an annual license. I don't know how much it costs. I don't have a license myself, and I don't have Calypso to be able to show you what it looks like or anything like that. And I don't have the rights to use the Calypso logos, so that's why I'm not actually using in the actual slides. That could be illegal in any way. So I'm just gonna the way I can do this and share the knowledge is I can talk about the theory, I can write some code and basically tell you this is the way you develop this particular scheduled task, or you develop a report this way, and I can just talk to you about the theory, write a bit of code, but I won't be able to execute it to demonstrate unless I get permission some way, and then I can do that. If I get permission from Calypso tomorrow, I'll happily show you a full demonstration and show you how to exactly install the application and extend it and start developing custom reports, scheduled tasks, and navigator and all other components or engines or whatever. But I can't do that, so I'm going to give you some theory, and then perhaps what I can also do is I can also write different applications and tell you, well, this is how, if this was Calypso, this is how it would work, and that kind of stuff. So I can teach you, while I'm doing that, I can teach you some Java, I can teach you some, I can teach you about message queues and RMI calls and that kind of stuff. So I can teach you around Calypso and maybe go into Spring Framework and that kind of stuff. And then, we can move like that. But yeah, let's kind of pause here on this slide and go to the Calypso website and just have a look at the website. So at least you know what the website looks like. So this is calypso.com, www.2.calypso.com. If you do have an account, you can just click Client Zone, and then you can just log in. Unfortunately, I don't have an account, so I can't really log in and show you what it looks like inside. But here's pretty much the site. We can have a look at the site. Calypso is pioneering innovative technology, native cloud technology, AI, big data, the 3-image capital markets. So front to back solution, managed services. So yeah, you can try to get some knowledge. What else have we got here? Company. Calypso Technology is a cloud-enabled provider of cross-asset front-to-back solution for financial markets with over 35,000 users in 60 countries. So you can just navigate the site, watch some videos. Don't think you learn much because it's pretty much promotional videos. Let's just see what this video is about.
Calypso is a global leader in capital markets technology. We deliver an integrated suite of trading, risk management, and treasury applications to banks and financial institutions around the world. Calypso is constantly recognized as one of the premier vendors in our space. We were named the 2016 Technology Provider of the Year by Asia Risk Magazine, and in 2015, we were recognized as the most visionary trading platform in the Gartner Magic Quadrant. Innovation is in our DNA, as is our passion for building practical solutions that simplify complex business challenges. Calypso employees share a common purpose: to serve our clients, investors, and each other with the highest standards of quality and integrity. With each addition to our team, we continue to grow stronger. Our group of experts are divided into the following departments: sales and marketing, professional services, customer success, product management, engineering, finance, legal, human resources, IT, and partnerships and alliances. We are innovative, execution-focused, and customer-centric. Debate and collaboration is encouraged at all levels of the organization to ensure the best ideas win. Accordingly, we recognize and reward both individual and team success, which is defined by achieving results through a mix of personal ownership, complex problem-solving, and cross-team partnerships. Our global presence brings unique perspectives and insights to our company that strengthens our business and our culture. While our work is demanding, we also make sure to celebrate our wins and enjoy ourselves. Each office hosts a quarterly event, an annual holiday party, and other company-sponsored activities for our employees to enjoy.
Revenues are down again. We need to figure out what we can cut.
People?
Systems, preferably. Remind me what we have in Treasury.
The big ones are for cash management, ALM, risk management, trading, and transfer pricing.
That's not too bad.
Well, that's not quite all. The banking book and the trading book each have their own risk management systems.
So how do we measure the total risk of the bank?
We add them up.
Really? That's it?
Pretty much.
Does that mean we hedge each book separately?
Yes.
Isn't that more expensive?
We don't have a choice.
Great.
Also, each division has its own cash management system.
Really? Why?
There's too much data and it's all too specialised. Mortgages, credit cards, corporate loans, derivatives, ATM transactions. They all behave completely differently.
So how do we aggregate everything?
Excel.
Manually?
Yes. And not only that, we use Excel for all of our regulatory reporting.
Let me get this straight. We have about 10 systems running inside the Treasury, but none of them are integrated or work in real time. At the same time, we're relying on spreadsheets for two of our most critical functions?
Pretty much.
And there's no vendor who can help clean up all this?
No, there is.
Who?
Calypso Technology.
Why haven't we called them before?
You never asked.
Okay, so we had a quick look on Calypso's website. If you want to explore Calypso a bit more on yourself, you could just go to the website, calypso.com. So here's the plan. Future videos, most likely, I'm going to follow this order. I might, rejuggle the course plan a little bit. But ideally, the next video that I'm going to release is going to go into a little bit more depth than this video on an overview of Calypso, a bit more, and then I'm going to do a quick introduction into how to install Calypso, how to do a deployment, and also patch Calypso. So every time Calypso come up with a fix or an upgrade, they would release a patch file that then the software engineers or the technical analysts would then upgrade the system. So if there's any sort of security issues or any bugs in the system, they would release a patch to fix it up. So I'll show you how to install and then do a deployment and patch. Again, I don't have Calypso, so I can't really show you practically. So what I'll do is I'll just mention the steps theoretically in this lesson. And then I'll go into the architecture of Calypso. I'll give you an idea of how each module or each component of the system, each engine, how they communicate together, and I'll give you an understanding of how the architecture works, and maybe we'll touch a bit on some of the Java concepts as well. But it won't be any coding, it will just be the design and the architecture of the system, and just to give you a little understanding of that first. And then I'm not quite sure, I might go into an introduction of the API, or I might move things around. So I might go into the core Java and Spring Framework and microservices and message queues, just to give you an understanding of the technical side of things before jumping into the API. Or I might just go straight into giving an introduction into the API and explaining exactly how to communicate with that if you want to extend your Calypso installation or do any custom codes. So I might go into that. And then what I'm planning to do as well is to just do a lesson in Calypso development, give a few examples in Java. I've also built a Kotlin application in the past. It wasn't a requirement at work, but just in my free time, I just played around with Kotlin. Kotlin is a Java virtual machines language, a JVM language. It's very close to Java, but it's a little bit more loose. So I'll give you a little introduction to that and how you could write a very basic application that will start the data server and communicate with the data server and the engine server, and basically close and open connections and that kind of stuff. Just something basic, and maybe do a trade and that kind of stuff. Don't worry if you don't know what I'm talking about now, because I'm going to go into the details of it. And also I did play around and created a user interface, a GUI in C++, and I got it to interact with the Calypso API in the past as well. So I'm going to give you a little example in C++ as well. And then another important skill to have is testing. So I'm going to do a lesson in unit testing, and then I'll do another lesson as well in Maven, Gradle, and also a bit of source control as well, Git. These are important skills to have, because Maven, Gradle, and Git are mostly used in Calypso projects. So by having an understanding of all these different technologies, I think you will have a good chance in succeeding in your career as a Calypso developer or a Calypso business analyst, whatever career you pursue in the future. And then finally, what I'm planning to do as well is, from the subscribers on the channel and the comments that I get back on how to improve the lessons, you guys might be on a project or a Calypso project, and you can send me questions and ask me different things, and I'll create tailored videos around that. So if you ask me a question, or there's an issue in the Calypso at the moment, it's not starting up, or the data server keeps crashing, or it runs out of memory and so on, when we're running the scheduled task, I can then create a quick video and explain to you what the most likely causes of that, and also how to rectify the situation if you need to play around with the memory and the allocations, memory allocations and that kind of stuff, or maybe it's the Java version that you have is causing an issue. So I can kind of give you a few troubleshooting points, and create these videos around real life situations that you might be experiencing at the moment, or if there's anything I need to improve on, you guys can give me some feedback and just basically tell me, look, we need a lesson that maybe a little bit more in detail, or maybe go a bit too slow, and slow down a bit the pace, or explain these other concepts. Then I can go into that as well as I can do a lesson in design patterns, the most common design patterns and that kind of stuff. So I can always go into these things as well. So this is your channel, this is your course. Depends on the feedback that I get from each video that I release. I'll start to basically customize the content on that. But I will need your help on this. So first thing to do is click the subscribe button. And if you like this video, please like it. And thanks very much. And here you go. Here's my WhatsApp number. Add me on that and I'll add you into the Calypso Developer group. Send me a message and I'll add you to that, and then that way we can communicate regularly, talk about projects and share ideas. And if you can help out and support and create your own content on Calypso, I can feature you on my channel and I'll give you the credit for it as well. So thank you very much and hope you enjoyed the videos in the near future.